Good evening and welcome back to 31 Horror Nights. It's October 16th and tonight's movie is A Quiet Place, Day 1. Quick recap, I've seen the first two Quiet Place movies for Horror Nights. I thought the first one was good. This idea is not new for horror movies, needing to be quiet or even silent if you want to stay alive. But A Quiet Place was probably the best executed example of that I could think of. That is until I saw the second movie, which I thought was amazing. 10 out of 10, I loved A Quiet Place Part 2. We actually did get a glimpse into the very beginnings of this alien apocalypse in A Quiet Place Part 2. But that was in a suburban setting, and A Quiet Place Day 1 takes place in, I believe, New York City. The movie stars Lupita Nyong'o, who is great in everything she's in. She absolutely stole the show in Us by Jordan Peele. I do think of it as kind of a red flag that this isn't directed by John Krasinski, the director of the first two movies. One of the most baffling things that Hollywood does over and over again is that they have this big successful movie and then they make a sequel and get someone else to direct it. There's also the fact that it's not following the set of characters that we were with for the first two movies. I really liked that family. I liked the mom, I liked the daughter. I don't know the human characters in this movie, and the human characters are what made especially A Quiet Place 2 so good. Remakes and sequels are often cash grabs, and it seems like prequels are so even more often. But let me give this movie a shot. I'll be right back. I would say that was about as good as the first movie. Still, it doesn't even touch the second movie. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. I still would much rather have gone back to the story of that family from the first two movies, because it was getting really good at the second part. Lupita Nyong'o was great in her role as the main character, Sam. That's very much unsurprising. The secondary character, played by Joseph Quinn, named Eric, only shows up after things get bad, so we don't really get to see much of what he was like or how he operated before the apocalypse. Functionally, he kind of just served as Sam's manic pixie dream girl, because she is a cancer patient and has a very pessimistic view of life even before the aliens attacked. The journey happening in this movie is not even to get to safety, it's to go to a pizza place in Harlem. I don't know if the effects always look this good, but the CGI for the aliens in this movie is really good. Apparently there are names that the fan base has come up with for these aliens, like the Death Angels or the Happy. I guess if I were to give them a name, I would call them the Splitters. I would call them the Clickers, but that's already taken in post-apocalyptic fiction. And I do remember this being a question that was on my mind throughout most of the second movie. Apparently, the Splitters cannot swim. They specifically say that in this movie. So I remember there being like a Tumblr post that was like, I like to imagine in post-apocalyptic movies taking place in America, the apocalypse was contained to just America and every other country in the world just decided to non-interfere. That might unironically actually have happened in the world of A Quiet Place. Also, for some reason, the main characters have a cat, just a cat who's with them. The cat doesn't really do much, it's just sort of there. Actually, from what I recall, all the cat ever really does in the context of the story is almost get people killed, which honestly is about what I would expect from the average cat. A Quiet Place Day 1 is good for the reasons the first two movies were good. It's a really good premise, it's executed very well when it comes to things like tension. When you need to be quiet, every little noise sounds huge, and that is blown up to its furthest extent in these movies. Like, there was a time where, like, a book falls on the ground and the sound reverberates like an atomic bomb. The story arc that they give Sam is cheesy at a few points, but does ultimately work in the end. I would still recommend the first two movies over this one, but it definitely wasn't the soulless cash grab I was fearing it might have been. And now I want to talk about a few spoilers. As previously stated, Sam is a cancer patient, and I guess it was too late for her before the apocalypse because she doesn't really seem interested in anything long-term. As previously stated, what she wants to do is go to a specific pizza place in Harlem and eat pizza one last time before she dies. And I guess Eric decides to tag along because he doesn't have anything better to do. The relationship and dynamic between Eric and Sam is overall pretty dull. It does kind of just fit into the manic pixie dream girl type of thing, except in this case, it's the man who's trying to inspire the woman to appreciate life more. They do finally make it to Harlem, but the pizza place that they've been trying to go to the whole time, Patsy's, was like exploded. So I guess they settle for the next best thing and go to the bar that Sam's dad would play piano at. And I swear, the entire time they were there, I was expecting the cats to like walk across the piano and get the aliens to attack them. There was a kind of touching scene where Eric goes out and finds another pizza place and brings back pizza and they eat it together. And after Sam takes a bite, she kind of non verbally says, it's okay. But then we got a scene that really felt a little heavy handed. Eric gets a deck of cards and then like does this pretend magic show where he does a magic trick where he asks Sam to be the volunteer from the crowd and there's like pretend applause and it goes on for so long. At this point in the movie, Eric had already gone into a den of splitters for Sam. And when I was watching this, I was thinking like, okay, you're trying too hard. But Sam does appreciate it and does pay it forward. There is like a ship full of evacuees, and in order to buy him time and allow him to reach it, she sacrifices herself by attacking cars and making the car alarms go off by like breaking the windows, allowing both Eric and the cat to get into the harbor and go to the ship. And the last part of the movie was actually kind of touching. Before Sam decided to put herself in the line for Eric, she gave him her like coat, and while he's on the boat, after it's all over, he looks in the coat pocket and finds a note that she wrote for him, basically just thanking him, asking him to take good care of the cat, and thanking him for reminding her that it is good to be alive and helping her appreciate life a little bit more before it all ended. And the movie ends with her taking her Walkman and listening to I Feel Good by Nina Simone. And I guess when she decides she's ready, she unplugs her headphones, and the very last part of the movie is a splitter, like, landing on the ground right behind her. A Quiet Place Day 1 still doesn't feel super necessary. Like, it doesn't feel like you would have missed anything if this movie never happened, but it certainly wasn't bad. Lupita Nyong'o continues to bring something special to every role I see her in, and there were enough of the things that made the first two movies so good to enjoy in this movie. So, yeah, not bad. I would just definitely recommend the first two movies more. Alright, thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.